If you're wearing these sneakers, you're ruining your whole outfit. So let's go ahead and fix that. And I'm telling you guys, I got y'all. First one, I can't lie, I feel like this one has kind of been dead for a little minute. Or not dead, but it wasn't as it was when it first started. We got the overdone Panda Ducks. Now, these is very versatile, I can't lie. And I'm not going to tell you guys what you guys shouldn't or what you should wear. But I'm just speaking for kind of a perspective of what things are kind of up and what things are kind of down. And I gotta say, these are definitely kind of not one of them ones, I'm not gonna lie. So these used to be an easy style hack. They're minimal, they're clean, and they're just basically everywhere. But in 2025, Panda Dunks are kind of the new white Air Force Ones, and they're kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't feel like Air Force Ones are cooked, because Air Force Ones are just too clean to be cooked and just one of those classic sneakers. But I gotta say, I feel like the Dunks were a little drawn out, too much, just kind of like the Timberlands are right now. But it's not even about the shoe being bad. It's more about how it's just seen too much and it's kind of drawn out. And resellers kind of milked it and everyone grabbed a pair. And now it feels like a uniform in the worst way, I gotta say. Now, I would definitely say go for a neutral toned alternative with the twist. Maybe like a Nike V2K, Adidas Gazelle in suede, or even the low top 550s in the muted tones. And I know this is basically a copy and paste of the Dunk, but I'm telling you guys, switch it up. And I'm telling you guys, you won't regret it, or you probably won't regret it. So, number 2 is going to be the ultra chunky dad shoes. Now, I've been talking about these for a little minute, but the dad shoes have their moments. I'm not going to lie. They were iconic, loud, and surprisingly comfy, but I feel like we've hit kind of a plateau in that kind of trend. It's definitely, in 2025, about the refined bulk, and people want that chunky feel without looking like they're stomping through a cartoon. I'm not gonna lie. But I remember seeing my first pair of Triple S's and they were pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. But they felt like bricks. But with that being said, I recommend you probably copy you a pair of 9060s. I have a review on those on my channel. I definitely recommend you check them out if you're looking at copying them. The review is up here. Real simple. I believe it's less than 10 minutes, so it's real quick to watch. Or you can go ahead and get you a pair of Asics Gel Kayanos 14. These are pretty calm, classic, and I'm pretty sure you've seen them, especially if you're tapped in with the sneaker world. But number 3, we got our plastic foam slides. We got the Yeezy Slide knockoffs. So foam, everything was fun, but when the knockoffs started flooding the market, and I gotta say, I don't know what it is about the rep websites and things of that nature. I can't lie, I've been doing a lot of content on that because I've been seeing my channel has been doing really good websites. But I ain't gonna lie, people have been loving reps. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I personally have never copped a rep in my life. But yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. I want you guys to let me know what it is about the reps that people are liking. But yeah, in 2025, I feel like it's kind of obvious, or not too obvious if you don't know sneakers, but it's kind of obvious if you're wearing fakes, especially if you get the chance to feel them or smell them off rip when you buy them. But it's kind of obvious too if you have off-brand clogs or things like that. So I definitely want to say go for the elevated mules and hybrid slides. I definitely recommend the Birkenstocks. Those are fire. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like they're the new Crocs but better. And you can also copy a pair of Nike Comp slides, not as good as the Birkenstocks in my opinion. The Crocs Echo Wave, which I am doing a review on the channel next week. So stay tapped in, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. Or you can wear the Fear of God slip-ons. But with that being said, wait until you see trend number 6, because it used to be fire, but now it's quietly turning your whole outfit into background noise. Now, number 4, we got the loud color combos in neon accents. Now, there was a time where the louder the sneaker, the better it was, but I feel like that time is gone. And by any means, if it's not your style to go with the more neutral tones, don't do it. But what I am gonna say is, them earth tones, the subtle contrast, I feel like it's really hitting right now, especially if you like the trends. I definitely would hop onto that. And I want you to think about quiet luxury, but for your feet in this aspect. Now, I do want to talk about big logos, because I feel like big logos are kind of drawn out to a point. As I was talking about before, common projects, brands like Axel, they have it really popping right now because of the simple, minimal branding that they have on their sneakers. And I feel like in 2025, if your sneaker is kind of trying too hard to prove what it is, it's kind of doing too much. And people are leaning into pieces that speak through the silhouette and don't shout through the logo. So, as I was saying, you cop a pair A pair, like an example, other than the common projects and axles that I can think about, will be the New Balance Made in USA. You got the Solomon and things of that nature. Now, number 6, the Overstyled high tops. Not all high tops are canceled, but the overly styled and overly structured ones are definitely cooked, I gotta say. And I definitely say stick with the clean mids or skate inspired lows. And if you want height, go for sleek runners or even tech sandals that add visual volume without bulk. Now, number 7, we got the hype only rotation. Now, I gotta say this was probably cool back in 2016, around that time, but I feel like, y'all, we can't be hype beasts no more. Like, this is really 2025. We gotta be on our own style and our own wave. So, the one thing that stings is just wearing what's hype is dead, and you definitely don't want that to happen to you for sure. You want to have something that you authentically like and is for you and your style. And it's not just about what you wear anymore, it's about how you style it, and the culture's evolved for sure. People want personal style and not just a stock list of GOAT's top 10. So I ain't gonna lie, I used to look into hype a lot when I was a kid, like maybe like junior high, maybe a little bit of high school, but I feel like now those days are kind of over. I kind of look for what fits me and what I actually like myself, because I feel like obviously when you're younger you kind of get influenced a little more. You're still trying to figure out yourself and your own vibe, but I feel like at this point this is the time to go ahead and just figure out your own personal style if you haven't already. But I do want to go ahead and get to number 8. We got the worn out Forces, and yes, even the white ones, y'all. So this is the hardest pill to swallow, but beat up white Forces are over. I feel like they were never on, but I feel like this has to be said. And I feel like this is something that has to be said to myself too. I ain't gonna lie, I got me a pair of beat Forces right now, and I gotta say, those gotta be put away. Those gotta be put away. They're so dirty. The laces is dirty for the most part, and I feel like if I clean my laces, it would be still cool, but I gotta get me a new pair. But they've always been the go-to for the sneaker or for the summer forever, but now they feel lazy unless you're keeping them fresh and clean at all times. So definitely try a clean canvas sneaker. And a canvas sneaker can be like a Mason Mahara. You got you a Converse Chuck. You got you some Rick Owens or something of that vibe. Now, these kind of give off that same versatility but way more freshness. So we definitely want to keep our sneakers clean. Now, a little bonus I do want to give you guys is you'll still see this one sneak into summer fits with the mismatched socks and slides. And I gotta say, we gotta dead that. We gotta put that away, because it's like, how we wearing Nike socks with Adidas slides? I feel like it just looks whack. It don't look right. And I gotta say, it probably had its run. Some people were kind of wearing with it, kind of running with it, but I feel like now it feels forced. And in 2025, people want styling to be intentional and not randomness. So if your rotation includes any of these dead trends, do not panic. We've all been there. We all got to grow. But the summer 2012 is all about smart styling, comfort, and clean execution with less flash and more finesse. Now, with that being said, drop a comment below. What trend do you think is going to be buried next? And like the video if you learned something new. Hit that subscribe button if you are building your rotation this year, because I'm telling you guys, I'm posting daily, even twice a day now. So with that being said, I'm going to give y'all some piece of game every single day. So stay tapped in. And go ahead and click this next one right here, which will give you the summer essentials that you actually need. I'll see you in that one.